how he sits.
Classic.
Since gender is a performance whether we like it or not, we do have a tendency to measure masculinity on a scale from man shrinking to man spreading. Manspreading, or the tendency of some men, hashtag not all men, to sit on public transit with their legs spread wide open, has been getting a lot of attention lately. In fact, there have been public awareness campaigns of sorts asking these manspreaders to, hey, close up your thighs so someone else can have a seat. While they're usually cast as inconsiderate jerks, I don't think that they're intentionally doing this to be rude to other people. I think that maybe, just maybe, they're testing the limits of these unwritten and written rules about how to sit like a man. For example, a Men's Health article titled "Sit Like This to Turn Her On" advised its presumably straight male readership to spread out their arms and legs with sitting, quote, basically taking up as much space as possible in order to signal dominance and confidence. In other words, guys, sit like sprawled out kings. But on a more serious note, this is something that comes up regularly on transgender men's blogs discussing how to physically embody masculinity. Gender Trender writes, sitting is another fun one. Basically, it's all about taking up space. If you're going to cross your legs, cross your ankles with your legs stretched in front of you, or rest an ankle on your knee. Lean back in your chair rather than forwards or sitting up straight. If you can manage it so you're basically lying down in your chair, that's perfect. While a lot of people don't appreciate man spreaders, on the other end of the spectrum, man shrinking, or crossing one's legs over the other one in what's considered a feminine kind of way, also comes with its own penalties. Take it from Stuff Mom Never Told You fan Mitchell DeBow, who once commented, when I used to sit cross-legged when I was younger in middle and high school, I was either called girl, homo, or homophobic slur for a gay man, etc. In order to appear more masculine, I started quote-unquote sitting like a man, which at first made me uncomfortable. Now I guess that it's a habit, as I'm sitting manly right now. And he's not alone. Viewer Ishtarian also had a similar experience, commenting, I've had something of a parallel experience there in that I too caught the same sort of crap for sitting with my legs crossed. I simply came to the conclusion, screw 'em, and went with what was comfortable for me, which I still do today, more than 40 years later. Clearly, there's a lot more loaded into whether you cross or uncross or man spread or man shrink than we might think. Getting ridiculed just by virtue of it being more comfortable for you to cross one thigh over the other rather than an ankle over the thigh or just thighs spread wide apart is ridiculous. But it's not just guys ridiculing other guys for crossing thighs over thighs, which is not a rhyme I was expecting. Women, especially straight women, also judge guys based on how they sit. As echoed in a letter written into GQ from a guy who wanted to know, how do you cross your legs? I say that in a professional environment, a man should cross his legs like a gentleman, the same way ladies do. My female colleagues say this is a turnoff. They suggest a guy should sit like a jock. GQ actually advocated for crossing thigh over thigh, particularly in a more formal setting, because that way you don't see the bottom of a man's shoe, which a gentleman never reveals. To which I say to my fellow ladies who are tired of manspreading, we probably need to stop penalizing men for tightly crossing their legs as well. In the meantime, what I really want to know from you cis and trans guys, how do you sit like a man?